We learn how to orient ourselves. We learn what street we're on. We learn what kind of intersection it is. We learn when we can go. When we go onto that street, when we need to be confident, pull out the white cane, guide with the guide handle. That's what we're supposed to do. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Phoebe and it's my little dog, Mia, below the camera. So how does a guide dog guide a blind person? Can they read the traffic lights, or do they have GPS on their head that tells them left or right? Or do they know where they're going? You would be surprised to learn that one of these is indeed a yes. And stay till the end of the video and I will show you the equipment that Mia and I use. What is the task of a guide dog? What do they do? Well, their primary task is to guide a blind person, navigate around the surroundings. There are 3 different types of obstacles. Their job is mainly to get from point A to point B in a straight line or whatever right-left turns. So the 3 different types of obstacles are partial obstacle, full obstacle, and overhead obstacle. These are the obstacles that will obstruct the way of the straight line. So then the dog will get around the obstacle and then go back to that straight line. So there is a partial obstacle. In this video you are seeing right now, I am weaving through all these different obstacles. Well, they're partial because I can still get through. And I don't have to go anywhere to get through these obstacles. I can still stay safe on the sidewalk. Whereas a full obstacle is really different because I have to actually get onto the street to get back to my main path. So this could be like debris, or it could be like trees and bushes and such. Or even better, it could be cars. You would be surprised to know that I actually found so many people park their cars in the middle of the sidewalk. It's like, I feel like I can park and drive better, even though I'm blind. I can't drive, but I wish I could. So those are partial obstacles. The dog will stop and you can indicate with your foot, that is known as probing, or you could feel out with your hand, or even better, you can pull out your lifesaver known as the white cane and just feel around and see if you can feel what is there, or in fact if there was something there. Sometimes the dog will stop just, well, I don't know. they just stop sometimes when they really shouldn't. These dogs are too smart for their own good. So then after you figure out that there is indeed an obstacle in the way, then you go onto the road or whichever way is the safest that you and your dog decides. Then you will get onto the road or a grass line, and then you will get back onto the straight line of path, which is the other side of the sidewalk. The third type of obstacle is an overhead obstacle. These are really interesting obstacles because they are over the dog's head, but definitely not over my head, which means whenever I'm walking, I run straight into it, which is very painful. So this could be tree branches, giant bushes that is overgrown, people's car mirrors, so many different objects that I can slam my face into. Just the dream of that, right? Oh, it is so fun being blind. No, it's actually not. So, no, it is. It is very, very hard being a sight-impaired person in this very inaccessible world. So, in this particular case, the dog will stop and you will feel out with your hand and be like, okay, there's something in the way, and then the dog will just take you around it. Or the dog, even better, would just take you around it instead of you stopping and having to feel around. So those are the 3 different types of obstacles that can get in your way when your dog is working, or rather when a guide dog and their handlers' dogs are working. So when you see them in public and they're doing these different maneuvers, that is exactly what they're doing. It varies between different schools, but that is what my school has taught me to do. So in the beginning of the video, I talked about 3 different things that potentially a guide dog could or couldn't do. So, can they read traffic lights or the traffic signals? Well, no, they can't. That is the blind person's job, to either read it or to read traffic. Is it safe to go, or maybe we should just wait? That you learn in orientational mobility, which is the white cane, aka the lightsaber. That is what we learn in that class. We learn how to orient ourselves. We learn what street we're on. We learn what kind of intersection it is. We learn when we can go. When we go onto that street, we need to be confident, pull out the white cane, guide with the guide handle. That's what we're supposed to do. All right, so then I talked about maybe the dog has GPS on their heads. I wish they just somehow come with like Wi-Fi signal, but they don't. Oddly enough, not my school anyway. I'm not leader dogs for the blind. Take notes, guys. Maybe someone will come up with that. But we can use our phones to audibly hear, okay, here's where the library is or whatever. So we can get directions through our phone, but definitely not our dogs. They don't know, they don't know that kind of stuff. They don't know, they can't read our minds. So then the third thing I talked about is, can a guide dog know where they're going? And this indeed is a yes. A guide dog can know where they're going, and this is because of routine. See, whenever there's a routine and you say go to the library every single day at a certain time, certain duration, all this stuff, it builds this routine and it builds this expectation that when I hit the library, say you like to have the dog find the door, and then after you get to the door, you sit at a certain chair. That is an expectation you have of the dog. So then every time the dog goes to the library, they will say find this chair, or indeed just the fact that they find this library. That is routine, that is expectation. This is very similar to whenever a dog is taught sit and down. The dog knows whenever it sits or whenever it downs that it will receive a reward. This is an expectation that it knows, if I do this, I get this. So that is the answer to that. However, if your schedule is always changing, like you never ever just stay at one place, you're always just hopping, the dog will definitely not know where it's going. Like you can't expect the dog to predict where you're gonna go and when you want to go. All right, so let's look at the equipment that I personally use as a guide dog handler. This is the collar that we use. Every dog needs a collar. This is a martingale. This is a half leather, half chain martingale. It is really, really good for feedback between the dog and the handler. When we're working together, we definitely need a lot of feedback. We get feedback through the collar, we get feedback through our other equipment, our harness. This is the next equipment that we use. A lot of people think that this is a muzzle. This is not a muzzle. Why do you think maybe this isn't a muzzle? I mean, so a muzzle typically goes over the whole snout of the dog. Therefore, the dog can't bite. That is the whole purpose of a muzzle. This is a gentle leader. A gentle leader's job is to gently guide the dog's head away from, say, sniffing objects, say poop or something. So that is the job of this. You don't want to be too hard, like you got to do it gently, and it just guides their nose. They can still drink, they can still sniff, they can still be a regular dog through this. And snout goes through here, and the connection goes through here. And this is a utility leash, so it can, extend. My dog's favorite object that I own. This holds her treats, her Charlie bears, which I don't know if I have any left. Yes, I do. All right, so this is her Charlie bear. Because I am a person that does have remaining vision, this helps me a lot. It brings things that are further away closer to me. So that is really nice. I use this for crosswalks and such. Very, very helpful. And this is the guide dog harness. So there's a signage that says ignore, working guide dog. It says please do not talk, do not stare, and do not touch. I went out of order there, but that's okay. Oftentimes I think a lot of people in public do struggle with this concept. I understand it's a really adorable dog, but she is working and she is keeping me safe from everyday life. All right. So on the chest it says leader dog, and then there's two little strips that is reflective to let cars know that we are coming. On the girth top it says leader dog, and then has the bunny ears to keep the metal handle in place. And then there's adjustable bottom grip. So then there's the handle, and yeah, thank you for watching, and please check out my first video if you are interested about guide dog and my more introductory video.